Hi loves, my name is Jordan Ray. Thanks for stopping in my channel. This is where I'm going to be sharing a lot about reality shifting, identity shifting, as well as health and just about everything involving navigating the human experience. We'll also probably doing some vlogging because why not? It's super fun. So thank you for being here. You can go ahead and subscribe if you would like to follow for more and hit the little bell icon. Alright, let's get into the video. Hey all. So I wanted to come on here and share the dream that I had last night because it was packed full of messages and I feel like a lot of them were for me, but I also feel guided to share them with you guys too because perhaps they could resonate with you as well. So I'll first tell you my dream and then I will go into the messages that I received. The dream. I was at university and the whole university staff had guided us all the students, to gather in the auditorium. So we got in the auditorium and you could just feel this potent energy. It was high vibe, it was excitement, there was like a thrill, just a beautiful potent energy going on. And we had gotten all settled and one of the staff was on stage and she instructed us to look into our backpacks. So we all look into our backpacks and inside was a Bible. Everybody had a Bible. And you could tell the Bible was stuffed with something. And she had instructed us to open to page 28 Corinthians. And we open up the page and you could just feel, you could just hear and feel just all the excitement throughout the whole auditorium. Once we opened up the page, it was money. There was money inside of it. And the whole Bible, just about every page was filled with money. And I looked over to my friend and I was like, I had a visualization of this. And she said, no, this is just for the teachers. But I was like, I knew it wasn't just for the teachers. I knew it was for us. And then next, what the woman on stage said, she said, this is for you. This money is for you. And she said, we are in such an abundance and overflow that we want to give back to you, to all of you. And she just the heart, the energy that was pouring out of her and all the staff. It was just beautiful abundance and we were just so excited. Then all of a sudden we heard a voice echoing through the auditorium. And I was caught in my emotions as I was processing what was happening, and my friend turned and said to me, she said, "Did you hear that?" And I said, I kind of heard it, but I was a little distracted. What was that? And she said, Jesus just spoke. And this message I honestly feel is just for me because I heard it another part of my dream last night. But right after that I woke up and it was one of those like really deep sleeps because I woke up and I could just feel my body, my energy was just like, you know how you feel when you wake up from a deep sleep. And I was like, is that real? Was there messages for me in that? So I wrote everything down and I decided to go to Google to look up Corinthians because I'm not too familiar with the Bible. And it said something about wealth, but overall the message I received from that part was that it was a message I've received over the years for a minute. But basically it's that it's this new earth that we are moving into a lot quicker than I feel a lot of people realize. But the message was everyone will be provided for. Everyone will have enough. And when I say that, I mean financially, money-wise, whatever currency we're going to be using, resources, everyone will be provided for, everyone will have enough, nobody will be left behind. And like that's just what we're moving into, what I've been receiving. So moving on to the other part, I went to page 28 in the Bible on Googled it. And while nothing really stood out for me from that, what also came in that search was Matthew 28, which is the crucifixion and resurrection of Christ. And so reading through that was powerful. But during me receiving these messages, this book kept popping into my mind, the Neville Collection by Neville Goddard. And if you don't know Neville Goddard, he spoke a lot about manifestation and just the spiritual laws and his interpretation of the Bible in regards to manifestation and spiritual laws, which I really resonate with. So I decided to go to page 28 in the Neville Collection. And while page 28 was blank, the page next to it was a table of contents in which I scanned, and guess what I saw? The crucifixion and resurrection. So I went to that passage, and that passage was literally everything I've been learning and researching really recently about manifestation. So it's a really good one. I'm going to read it to you because I feel like there's a lot to gain from here, and it kind of gives a beautiful nutshell, like everything in a nutshell about conscious creation. So I'm going to read it to you guys. It's only a couple pages, so bear with me. Alright, Chapter 12, Crucifixion and Resurrection. The mystery of the crucifixion and the resurrection is so interwoven that, to be fully understood, the two must be explained together, for one determines the other. This mystery is symbolized on earth in the rituals of Good Friday and Easter. You have observed that the anniversary of this cosmic event, announced every year by the Church, is not a fixed date, as are other anniversaries marking births and deaths, but that this day changes from year to year, falling anywhere from the 22nd day of March to the 25th day of April. The day of resurrection is determined in this manner. The first Sunday after the full moon in Aries is celebrated as Easter. Aries begins on the 21st day of March and ends approximately on the 19th day of April. The sun's entry into Aries marks the beginning of spring. The moon in its monthly transit around the earth will form sometime between March 21st and April 25th in opposition to the sun, which in opposition is called a full moon. The first Sunday after this phenomenon of the heavens occurs is celebrated as Easter. The Friday preceding this day is observed as Good Friday. This movable date should tell the observant, one, to look for some interpretation other than the one commonly accepted. These days do not mark the anniversaries of the death and resurrection of an individual who lived on earth. Seen from the earth, the sun is in its northern passage, appears at the spring season of the year to cross the imaginary line man calls the equator. So it is said by the mystic to be crucified or crucified that man might live. It is significant that soon after this event takes place, all nature begins to arise or resurrect itself from its long winter sleep. Therefore, it may be concluded that this disturbance of nature at this season of the year is due directly to the crossing. Thus it is believed that the sun must shed its blood on the Passover. If these days mark the death and resurrection of a man, they would be fixed, so that they would fall on the same date every year as all other historical events are fixed, but obviously this is not the case. These dates were not intended to mark the anniversaries of the death and resurrection of Jesus, the man. The scriptures are psychological dramas and will reveal their meaning only as they are interpreted psychologically. These dates are adjusted to coincide with the cosmic change which occurs at the time of the year, marking the death of the old cycle and the beginning or resurrecting of the new year or spring. These days do symbolize the death and resurrection of the Lord, but this Lord is not a man. It is your awareness of being. It is recorded that he gave his life that you might live. I am come that you might have life, and that you might have it more abundantly. John 10:10. Consciousness slays itself by detaching itself from that which it is conscious of being, so that it may live to that which it desires to be. Spring is the time of the year when the millions of seeds which all winter lay buried in the ground suddenly spring into visibility that man might live, and because the mystical drama, the crucifixion and resurrection, is in the nature of this yearly change, it is celebrated at the spring season of the year, but actually is taking place every moment of time. The being who is crucified is your awareness of being. The cross is your conception of yourself. The resurrection is the lifting into visibility of this conception of yourself. Far from being a day of mourning, Good Friday should be a day of rejoicing. For there can be no resurrection or expression unless there is first a crucifixion or impression. The thing to be resurrected in your case is that which you desire to be. To do this, you must feel yourself to be the thing desired. You must feel, I am the resurrection and the life of the desire. I am, your awareness of being, is the power resurrecting and making alive that which in your awareness you desire to be. Two shall agree on touching anything, and I shall establish it on earth. Matthew 18:19. The two agreeing are you, your awareness, the consciousness desiring, and the thing desired. When this agreement is attained, the crucifixion is completed. Two have crossed or crossified each other. I am and that, consciousness and that which you are conscious of being, have joined and are one. I am now nailed or fixed in that belief that I am this fusion. Jesus, or I am, is nailed upon the cross of that. The nail that binds you upon the cross is the nail of feeling. The mystical union is now consummated, and the result will be the birth of a child or the resurrection of a son bearing witness of his father. Consciousness is united to that which it is conscious of being. The world of expression is the child confirming this union. The day you cease to be conscious of being that which you are now conscious of being, that day your child or expression shall die and return to the bosom of his father, the faceless, formless awareness. All expressions are the result of such mystical unions. So the priests are correct when they say that true marriages are made in heaven and can only be dissolved in heaven. But let me clarify this statement by telling you that heaven is not a locality, it is a state of consciousness. The kingdom of heaven is within you, Luke 17:21. In heaven, consciousness, God is touched by that which he is aware of being. Who has touched me? For I perceive virtue has gone out of me. Luke 8:45-46, Mark 5:30. The moment this touching, feeling takes place, there is an offspring, or going out of me, into visibility taking place. The day man feels, I am free, I am wealthy, I am strong, God, I am, is touched or crucified by these qualities or virtues. The results of such touching or crucifying will be seen in the birth or resurrection of the qualities felt, for man must have visible confirmation of all that he is conscious of being. Now you will know why man or manifestation is always made in the image of God. Your awareness, imagining, and outpictures all that you are aware of being. I am the Lord, and beside me there is no God, Isaiah 45:5-6. I am the resurrection and the life, John 11:25. You shall become fixed in the belief that you are that which you desire to be. Before you have any visible proof that you are, you will, from the deep conviction which you have felt fixed within you, know that you are, and so without waiting for the confirmation of your senses, you will cry, it is finished. John 19:30. Then when the faith is born of the knowledge of this changeless law, you will be as one dead and entombed. You will be still and unmoved in your conviction and confident that you will resurrect the qualities that you have fixed and are feeling within you. Wow. That is literally manifestation in a nutshell. What you are conscious of being is what is created in your 3D reality, in your life, in this expression of consciousness. That was all. I love you guys.